Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome into my October North Texas vegetable garden. I am back with another weekly update and the weather is beautiful outside this morning. Things are growing, things are going a little crazy, so let's go see what's going on. All right, as usual, we're gonna start in the tomato patch, but if you can see there, I can't really get down this aisle, so we kind of have to meander our way around to get where we need to be to kind of talk about what's happening in the garden. All right, so I guess we're gonna start at this end since we couldn't get through there. There isn't a whole lot that has changed within these two beds other than the eggplant just going absolutely completely wild. If you can see there, there is eggplant that's growing. There's several, kind of look down here, tons of eggplant growing. But in this bed, these brassicas are really just taking off. They're putting on a lot of size, a lot of new leaf growth, and I have come through and I have planted some more radishes in this bed. Hopefully they'll be able to still get enough sunlight to be able to grow. I just planted them a couple of days ago, so I don't think that they will be sprouted just yet. The radishes that I planted last week, let's see if I can get over here, are growing. You can kind of see right there. And then there are some carrots in this bed as well. Those are doing pretty well. Now there's like some grass growing, but I didn't want to disturb the root growth of the carrots, so they're just gonna have to hang out together for now. There's also some lettuce from Chaos Sowing Lettuce. There's a few plants all along the length of the bed. Let me kind of untangle. There's a hornworm right there. How rude. I knew there was one, but I couldn't find it. All right, so I need to come back and remove that guy later. Ew. But that makes number 11 for the entire season. Okay, so tomatoes, while we're talking about tomatoes, these are doing beautifully. We are finally starting to get more fall tomato fruit set. I'm gonna try to film this in a way where my shadow isn't in it, but you can see that there are some tomatoes that have set fruit all along here. Most of what has set fruit is the porter tomato, but we have some Super Sioux down here. If you can see that little guy right there-ish. We have some Super Sioux that have set fruit. So this one is a great tomato to use for salsa. So I'm really happy to see those. There are some Arkansas Travelers where that hornworm was that have set fruit. I'm not sure if the Creole or the Eva Purple Ball have any fruit set because I haven't attempted to untangle the mess that exists within here. But we do have tomatoes, so very happy to see that. Very happy about tomatoes. Not so happy about that hornworm, so I will come out and get rid of that guy later. But this bed, this middle bed, has a ton of life in it between the brassicas, the tomatoes, and the lettuce and root crops. So really happy about the progress there so far. This bed is this bed here is kind of the leafy green bed for my garden right now. It has kale at this end, and then at that end it has collard greens. There are still some cowpeas that are growing in here. Unfortunately, whatever critter has been getting after the cowpeas has taken some down, so I'm not harvesting as many as I should be, but my thinking is I'd rather them have the cowpeas than the tomatoes, so we're just kind of playing this game of I'll give you this if you leave this alone. We'll see if it works out. I do have some things set out to kind of hopefully get rid of whatever's eating my cowpeas soon. But these collard greens are looking amazing, other than where the caterpillars have just decimated some of the leaves. Try to come around and not cast too much of a shadow, but look at those collard greens. All right, this bed, I don't think anything has changed in this bed from last week. Those rutabagas were already in there. Something has eaten a lot of the leaves, but they seem to be growing all right. We have the cardinal basil putting on the seed heads, and it's so beautiful. Okra is still doing okra things all the way down. I haven't seen my friendly little tree frog in a few days, so I don't know if they moved on or if they're just hiding because, you know, they're a frog and I'm a human. But the okra still doing really well. You can see there I need to harvest some. The bell peppers are still doing really well. The irrigation ran this morning, so I don't know if it caused some damage or not, but these are kind of leaning a little bit more than they typically do. But I do have several little baby bell peppers growing, and then I have some down here. Basically, bell peppers still growing really well throughout this whole space. So that is really awesome. I'm not going to cut anything down out of this bed until the first frost, I think, which was in about a month-ish. November 15th is the average first frost date for my area. I'm just gonna let these things grow until then, and then once that first frost wipes them out, then I'll just cut them down at that point. Once I know that the danger of frost is coming, I will come out and harvest everything that I can, but I'm not gonna try to protect anything. These are just summer crops that I've been fortunate enough to continue to grow into the fall. So whatever happens with them happens. Over here, I have started transplanting in kohlrabi. So the varieties that are in now is the purple variety, early purple Vienna, I think is what it is called. And then I have a couple of white kohlrabi plants that will be transplanted into this pocket here. So that's really exciting. Kohlrabi is in the Brassica family. It's also known as a German turnip. It kind of looks like an alien as it forms the part that you want to eat. So as that grows, I'll show you guys what they kind of look like as they continue to develop. Then this bed here it's got a whole lot going on in it. I mean, it has a lot going on in it. So we still have the Lecia pepper that looks like it has a bit of sun scald on it. I may go ahead and cut this guy down. I don't foresee it putting on, well, it's got one little baby on there, so I guess I'll let that grow to fruition. But the most prolific peppers in this bed, by far, maybe the most prolific in the garden, has been these shishitos here. You can see the dozens upon dozens of shishito peppers that are growing there. Just crazy. Absolute craziness. Every time I harvest, they just they put on like double the amount that they had before. So just gonna let these go until the frost as well. And then zucchini here, it's growing, it's blooming. I see some female blooms starting to form there. You can see that guy, that's a female. I don't see any others. Now I did have to come out and inspect for squash vine borer eggs, which I have been scraping off as I see them. I do see some aphids, but I don't see any squash bug eggs. So zucchini have basically two main pests. They have squash vine borers and they have squash bugs. Both are awful. Both will completely decimate your plant in completely different ways. So you have to be really diligent with checking the plants. I had hoped we would be out of the squash vine borer season, but no. So I'm having to come through and scrape off any eggs that I see. Hopefully I'm not missing any, and hopefully I can get a zucchini or two before we have the first frost. We'll see. That looks like maybe a female zucchini. that hopefully got pollinated. Right there, right here, this one right here, if you can see. Down here, not a whole ton is going on. Ajvarsky pepper, there's a few little babies growing. Purple beauty bell. The plants broke due to the gardener neglect, not trellising them. But there are some baby peppers on there. There are some root vegetables growing. So this end is, this end down here is turnips and fall radish types like Masato Rose and watermelon. I can't remember where I planted which, so we'll see as they start to form the roots on them, but you can see some of the babies that are growing. I am dealing with a roly-poly issue, so I'm really just trying to keep these little babies alive. Purple Ruffles basil, this is one of my favorites. It's so cool looking. And then down here is beets, and those all look pretty good. You can see all the little sprouts from those. So my plan for these is to eat them. Obviously. No, I'm just joking. My husband and I went on a trip to Colorado in 2022, and we went to Boulder, Colorado, just to kind of explore the area. And we ate at a sandwich shop downtown that had this really delightful salad with roasted beets and goat cheese. So I promised him I would grow some beets to try to recreate that salad, and any leftovers I may experiment with fermenting or pickling. We'll see what happens, but I'm happy that those are all still in existence. All right, over here in the chaotic flower bed, it is absolutely chaotic. The cover crops are growing really well along the kind of back there. The really chaotic looking parts are mostly cover crops that I have for soil improvement. But there are a lot of flowers blooming. Everything is growing really well, even amidst the chaos. So we have these really cute little marigolds, and then zinnias all the way down. There's echinacea there, salvia, zinnia. We have these pumpkin on a stick, and they're so weighed down that they're just leaning, and you can see they're starting to ripen. So once they ripen, then I'll cut the stem off and create some kind of fun fall arrangements with them. But that's kind of repeated all the way down this end of the flower bed as well. I need to come out and prune some zinnias. It looks like I see some spent flowers there, but more of the cover crop insanity, zinnias, marigolds, all the way down. And these are like a deeper red, but they also have like the speckled type flowers. That's the same plant with multicolored flowers on there. And then we have lilies, my daughter, her zinnias here that are just stunning. And then Cosmos here that she also wanted to plant. So I need to kind of try to get by these without damaging them. But cowpeas, as you can see, are, at least the green stalk cowpeas, are starting to fizzle out. I am slowly pulling out plants that are completely died off. Like this one, no, it still has some green on it. And then harvesting the peas as they get ready. But I have had to contend with whatever has been eating my cowpeas, so I'm not harvesting as many off of here as I should be, but it is what it is. When you garden, you have things that want to eat your food. You can see here where they just kind of tear it off and take it. But as these pockets get emptied out, like I have empty pockets here, there, bok choy is going to be transplanted into here, and this will kind of be my Asian green stalk for the fall and early winter. I will use those for stir fries and other things. All right, the pepper green stalk. Every week I talk about how much I love this thing, and every week I love it more and more and more. Tabasco peppers are just absolutely loaded all the way up here. All of that's Tabasco peppers. These cayenne peppers. This plant is ridiculously tall. This is in the bottom tier and it has grown all the way, and I am kind of trellising it sort of-ish within the Tabasco peppers. So it has peppers all the way down it. You can see there the cayennes there, so that's really cool. There's more cayennes. I have jalapenos all over the place. I have serranos all over the place. Peppers falling. So here is a cayenne that's ready, with more cayennes that are just growing along. Happy little cayennes. Serranos. Jalapenos. There's some jalapenos. The mushroom peppers on the bottom finally slowed down. They're not setting as much fruit as they initially did. I'm okay with that. We have these pequeño peppers, which are these little teardrop shaped peppers. They're really cute. They have like a little bit of a fruity flavor, but they're not spicy. I thought that they were, which is why they're planted in the hot pepper green stock, but they're not. So we like them, but I'm not sure that I'm gonna grow them again, because I would rather devote the space to something that we eat a lot of, like jalapenos and serranos. Here we go. This is that mystery plant that the last round of peppers it put on, everything was a different shape, but this time everything is mostly jalapeno shaped. So I don't know, maybe it figured itself out and decided it wants to be a jalapeno. But jalapenos, like you can see how many peppers. This is one plant. This is one plant. I just have so many jalapenos. I'll be pickling more very soon. Very exciting. I have Sugar Rush Peach down here. I don't know if I've talked much about these. We like the flavor of these, and sometimes they're prolific. They're not super prolific this year. I don't think they're getting enough sun down low, but I would like to grow them again next year, but I think I'll grow them in the raised beds where hopefully they get bigger and more productive. But yes, I am so pleased with this pepper green stock. Like every week it's just better and better. Man, one last look at that, because it's probably one of my favorite spots in the garden. Okay, strawberries. So these guys are just growing and growing, growing. You can see they're putting off more runners than I have pockets for at this point. So I'm just trying to tuck them where I can, and hopefully every single pocket is filled with strawberries. I do have a frost cloth to protect this with. It's kind of like a giant bag that you put over the top and wiggle it down, and then it has a drawstring on the bottom for you to tighten it. So hopefully I'll be able to protect these plants and we'll have strawberries next spring. But man, I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy that the 3 plants that survived turned into this. That is just crazy to me. And hopefully we'll have a ton of strawberries next year that I won't have to buy at the store. The lime tree is loving its new home, its bigger container. You can see all this new healthy leaf growth here. It thinks it wants to bloom. I don't know. If it does happen to set fruit, then those limes will have to continue to grow indoors through the winter, which is fine. But it's loving its home. We have a ton of different basil in here. It could be cross-pollinated. It could just be straight windblown from the sources. But we have what looks to be Persian, probably cinnamon basil in here as well. Maybe blue spice. Blue spice is right here. this one is cinnamon, and this one is Persian. So it could be any of the three, or a combination of the three, or hybrid funky varieties of the three. We'll see as it continues to grow. This one looks kind of blue spice like because of the serrated leaves, but we'll see. Like I said, over the winter, whenever the lime tree gets moved into the house, it gets put in front of this window, so it gets quite a bit of sun during the day. But I plan on growing some of this basil out, probably not all of it because that's a bunch, but really cool to see all the different types of basil growing. And speaking of basil, plants just want to grow, y'all. It is growing out of the side of this grow bag that has my sage in it. That's hilarious. Plants just want to grow. All right, this green stalk, I need to pluck that off before I have more mint than I know what to do with, because I already have more mint than I know what to do with. But this green stalk that has all of the different varieties of all kinds of things in it is doing much better since I got the water issue figured out at the top and I got it unclogged. These peppers on this side are looking much healthier. You can see they're blooming. We have a few peppers growing, so much better over here. Okra, I need to harvest that big boy. More okra. This one's about to bloom. Everything is doing much better since I got the water issue figured out from the top reservoir. And just kind of look over here. This Carolina Reaper, looks like we finally have a Carolina Reaper pepper and some blooms. So hopefully my husband will get at least one Carolina Reaper pepper from the garden. I did not start this one from seed. I bought it at Callaway's this year. He really loves super hot peppers. I think Serrano and Cayenne probably push it to the limits for me. That's definitely his bag and not mine, but he'll be happy that there is a Reaper growing. These super hots are just such late producers. I never know if they're gonna do well or not. That looks like a habanero, so he'll be happy about that. Cool. We have super hots growing, y'all. And then we have this chunky monkey, my Odie Pody. Sweet boy. And then I'll give you guys an update on Logan's mum because it's blooming and it's so beautiful. These blooms are so pretty. We opted for purple because this was in honor of his betta fish that he had for several years, and it was a purple and blue betta, so we got a purple mum in his memory. Doggo coming in for more pets. All right, so these are the only remaining things that need to be transplanted out at this point. It's mostly bok choy. There's some tatsoi here, and the white kohlrabi, and then we have snapdragons that need to go into the flower bed. But that's the end of the planting for the fall garden. And this is one last look at the early mid-October North Texas vegetable garden. I am just absolutely enamored with how beautiful everything is and how lovely everything is growing. And the fact that I have 700 million peppers makes me so happy. All right, but that is it for this week's weekly update. If you liked today's video and you want to see how my garden continues to progress from week to week through the fall and winter on to next spring, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment and do all those different YouTube-y things. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures.